Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Thursday, April 29th, 2021. Today I'm going to recap yesterday's NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball games and look ahead to tonight's games in each sport. We will go over the super duper early leaderboard for the Valspar Championship. And then we are going to do my final NFL mock draft, the latest news and notes, and my best bet of the day. All right, first we're going to go over the big NBA window that was from last night, and we will look ahead to a 6-game window for tonight. Magic over the Cavs, 109-104. Orlando, 19-43. Cleveland, 21-41. Gary Harris had 19 and 7 assists for Orlando. Darius Garland had 25 and 10 assists for Cleveland. 76ers over the Hawks, 127-83. Philly, 41-21. Atlanta, 34-29. Seth Curry led them in scoring, believe it or not, with 20. John Collins had 21 for Atlanta. Wizards over the Lakers, 116-107. Washington, 28-34. Lakers, 36-26. Bradley Beal, 27 points. And Anthony Davis, 26 points for the Lakers. Knicks over the Bulls, 113-94. The Knicks are 35-28. Chicago, 26-36. Julius Randle, 34 points. Nikola Vucevic had 26 and 18. Celtics over the Hornets, 120-111. The Celtics are 33-30. Charlotte, 30-32. Jaylen Brown had 38 points and 8. Actually, no, the 8 assists was Jason Tatum. Devontae Graham had 25 with 7 assists. Heat over the Spurs, 116-111. The Heat, 33-30. San Antonio, 31-30. Jimmy Butler, 29 points for Miami. DeJounte Murray had 22, 10 boards and 11 assists, so a triple-double for DeJounte Murray. Trailblazers over the Grizzlies, 131-109. Portland, 34-28. Memphis, 31-30. C.J. McCollum had 26 points and 6 assists. Jonas Valanciunas had 19 for Memphis. Nuggets over the Pelicans, 114-112. Denver, 41-21. New Orleans, 27-35. Jokic, 32 points to carry Denver. Brandon Ingram had 27 for New Orleans. Suns over the Clippers, 109-101. The Suns clinch a playoff berth. They're 44-18. Clippers are 43-21. Chris Paul, 28 points against his former team as well as 10 assists. Paul George, 25 points and 10 boards. Jazz over the Kings, 154-105. Utah, 45-17. Sacramento, 25-37. Bojan Bogdanovic, 24 points for the Jazz, and Buddy Hield at 18 for Sacramento. All right, now we will look ahead to tonight's window. 7 o'clock, you have the Mavericks and the Pistons. No Jeremy Grant for the trade tonight, as I project Dallas to be favored in the spot by 20.5, total 220. Meanwhile, FanDuel has this at 8.5. I'm going to lay 8.5 for Dallas. It's just simple as that. The best player on the court tonight will be Luka Doncic. You have the Nets and the Pacers on NBA TV. I'm at Brooklyn 11, total 230.5. You know, it's 9.5. If the total is anything higher than 232, I'm betting the under. And if it's anything lower than 229, I'm betting the over. 8 o'clock, you have the Bucks and the Rockets. I'm at Bucks 22.5, total 227.5. You know, it's 13 and 231.5. I'm going to lay the 13 with the Bucks. Best player on the court, Giannis Antetokounmpo. They had the best 3 players on the court, Giannis, Drew Holiday, and Chris Middleton. So I'm laying the 13 with Milwaukee. Warriors, Timberwolves, I'm at Golden State 11.5, total 227. Meanwhile, it's 6 and 235. I'm going to take the under. I don't feel great about it. But Minnesota's offense isn't that good, so I'm going to under 235. 9 o'clock, the Pelicans and the Thunder. I'm at Pelicans 11 total, 225. It's Pelicans 9 total, 229.5. I'm taking the under. OKC's offense is not that good. Without SGA especially. And then the Raptors and the Nuggets, I'm at Denver 14.5 total, 224.5. Meanwhile, it is only 4. I'm going to lay it a 4. I love this. Best player in the court will be Nikola Jokic. I think Aaron Gordon and Michael Porter Jr. can step up, so we're going to lay the 4 with Denver against Toronto. Now I'm going to go over the NHL results from yesterday, and I'll look ahead to what should be a busy slate for tonight. Senators over the Canucks 6-3. Ottawa is 19-27-4. Vancouver 19-21-3. The number 3 started game with 2 assists. Alex Formenton. The number 2 started game with a goal and assist. Thomas Chabot. And the number 1 started the game with a goal and assist. Brady Tkachuk. Blues over the Wild 4-3. The Blues are 22-19-6. Minnesota 31-14-3. Number 3 started game with 2 goals and an assist. Mike Hoffman. Number 2 started game with a goal and assist. Mike Foligno. And the number 1 started game with a goal and assist. Robert Thomas. Maple Leafs over the Canadiens 4-1. Toronto 31-13-5. Montreal 21-18-9. The number 3 started game with a goal. William Nylander. The number 2 started game with 2 assists. Mike Riley. And the number 1 started game with a goal. Austin Matthews. Oilers over the Jets 3-1. Edmonton 29-16-2. Winnipeg 27-19-3. Number 3 started game with a goal and assist. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. Number 2 started game with the goal. Blake Wheeler. And the number 1 started game with 3 assists. Connor McDavid. Golden Knights over the Avalanche 5-2. Vegas 35-11-2. Colorado 31-12-4. Number 3 started game with 35 saves on 37 shots. Marc-Andre Fleury. Number 2 started game with a goal and 2 assists. Mark Stone. And the number 1 started the game with 2 goals and an assist. Max Pacioretty. Ducks over the Kings 3-2. Ducks 15-28-7. Kings 18-23-6. The number 3 started game with the goal, Sam Carrick. The number 2 started game with the goal and assist, Adrian Kempe. And the number 1 started game with the goal, Cam Fowler. Sharks over the Coyotes 4-2. The Sharks are 20-24-5. Arizona 21-24-5. The number 3 started game with an assist, Alexander Barbanoff. Number 2 started game with no points but just played well, Brent Burns. And the number 1 started the game with a goal, Evander Kane. All right. Tonight's window is pretty big. 7 o'clock, you have the Islanders at the Rangers. A huge game from Madison Square Garden. The Rangers are minus 122 favorites. I can't believe the Rangers are favored here. Islanders are plus 104 over under 5.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. Islanders plus 1.5 is minus 170 or minus 275, and the Rangers minus 1.5 is plus 220. This is a hard one. Maybe if the Rangers are laying a little less, I would pull the trigger, but this is tough. The Islanders, it feels like they've owned the Rangers this year. And the Rangers, for whatever reason, Alexander Georgiev plays better against the Islanders than Igor Shesterkin does. But I think this line's going to drop if Georgiev plays. This is so hard. And the funny thing is that the under and the Rangers are the same price, which is absolutely absurd to me. But I'm going to go with the under. I'm going to say that Georgiev plays. It's a 3-2 game, regardless who wins. The Stars at the Lightning. The Lightning are minus 172. The Stars are plus 144. Over under 5.5. Overs plus 106. Unders minus 130. Stars plus 1.5 is minus 182. Lightning minus 1.5 is plus 150. I'm going to go with the Lightning in regulation at minus 115. I feel better about that than the juice or the value on the over. Lightning have started to round in the form a little bit, so I'm going to take Tampa Bay in regulation at minus 115. The Sabres at the Bruins. Boston's minus 420. Buffalo's plus 330. Over under 5.5, minus 110 each way. Buffalo plus 2.5 is minus 142. Boston minus 2.5 is plus 118. The rare time you see a 2, you're actually seeing it in a couple of these games. In this game, I'm going to go with the over. Boston's offense has been very good since the addition of Taylor Hall. So I'm going to go over 5.5. Flyers, Devils. The Flyers are minus 138. The Devils are plus 118. Over under 6.5. Over is minus 105. Under is minus 115. The numbers just changed on the fly. The Flyers are now minus 142 and the Devils are minus 120. The Flyers minus 1.5 is plus 180. The Devils plus 1.5 is minus 225. I'm going to go under 6.5 and minus 115. I think that's a high over-under. I don't think the Devils' offense is that good, so I'm going to take under 6.5 and minus 115. Penguins, Capitals. I'm surprised this game's not on NBCSN, but they have a game tonight, but it's not that. The battle for first place in the division. So this is a huge game. The Caps are minus 110. The Penguins are minus 106. Over under 5.5. Overs minus 128. Unders plus 104. The Penguins plus 1.5 is minus 300. The Capitals minus 1.5 is plus 240. I am going to go with Pittsburgh minus 106. I took them to win the division at 3-1 about 2 weeks ago. And they are now plus 250 to win the division. The Capitals are minus 220. You could have gotten the Capitals at plus 250 the other day. Now they're ridiculous, minus 220. So I think Pittsburgh at plus 250 is really, really good. The Islanders are now down to 13-1, which is wild. So I'm going to take Pittsburgh minus 106 at Washington to get the big win. Red Wings, Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are minus 460. The Red Wings are plus 360. Over under 5.5. Over is minus 114. Under is minus 106. Detroit plus 2.5 is minus 130. Carolina minus 2.5 is plus 108. This is a hard one, but I'm going to go with the under at minus 106. Carolina's offense I know has been great, but I think they could slow down Detroit. So I'm going to go under 5.5 at minus 106. I think this could be 4-0 Carolina. 7:30, the Canucks at the Maple Leafs. Toronto's minus 330. Vancouver's plus 265. Over under 6.5. Over's minus 102. Under's minus 120. Vancouver plus 1.5 is plus 104. Toronto minus 1.5 is minus 125. I'm going to go over 6.5 at minus 102. Vancouver has been very erratic since their COVID pause, whether they score a lot or give up a lot. So I'm going to go over 6.5 at minus 102. 8 o'clock on NBCSN, you have the Panthers at the Blackhawks, so Joel Quenneville back in Chicago. Florida's minus 166. Chicago's plus 140, over under 6.5. Over's minus 106, under's minus 114. Panthers minus 1.5 is plus 152. Chicago plus 1.5 is minus 184. I'm going to go with the Panthers in regulation at minus 105. Chicago's kind of fallen off lately, so I'm going to go Florida in regulation at minus 160. Or no, I'm sorry, that's the money line. Minus 105. The Blues and the Wild. The Wild are minus 144. The Blues are plus 122. Over under 5.5. Minus 110 each way. Blues plus 1.5 is minus 230. Wild minus 1.5 is plus 188. I'm going to go over 5.5. I like the Blues offense and how they're playing, and I think this one could be the higher scoring game. So I'm going to go over 5.5 at minus 110. And last but not least, 9 o'clock, the Flames at the Oilers. The Oilers are minus 144. The Flames are plus 124, over under 6.5. Overs plus 104, unders minus 128. Calgary plus 1.5 is minus 220. Edmonton minus 1.5 is plus 180. This is a hard one, but I'm going to go over 6.5 at plus 104. I think Edmonton's offense continues to rock and roll. And I think maybe Calgary scores a couple too. Maybe this could be like a 6-3 type of game. So I'm going to go over 6.5 at plus 104. Now we'll move on to Major League Baseball as we will go over the results from yesterday and we will look ahead to today's games. Twins over the Indians 10-2. The Twins 8-15. Cleveland 11-12. J Happ the win. He's 2-0. Logan Allen the loss. He's 1-4. Byron Buxton, Josh Donaldson, Jorge Polanco, Ahmed Rosario, Williams Astudillo, Mitch Garver twice were your home runs. J Happ 7 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, area 1.96. Logan Allen, an inning in the third, 5 hits, 6 runs, a walk, and a strikeout area 9.19. Marlins over the Brewers 6-2. The Marlins are 11-13. Milwaukee 14-10. Sandy Alcantara the win, he's 1-2. Zach Godley the loss 0-1. Colton Wong and Jesus Aguilar each homered in this game. Alcantara 7 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 3.19. Godley 3 innings, a hit, 3 runs, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA of 9. Dodgers over the Reds 8-0. A good bounce back win for the Dodgers. They're 16-9. Cincinnati 11-13. Clayton Kershaw to win. He's 4-2. Sonny Gray to loss. He's 0-2. Justin Turner was the lone player to homer in this game. On either side, obviously. Kershaw 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, a walk, 8 strikeouts, ERA 2.09. Sonny Gray 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 11 strikeouts, ERA 5.93. Royals over the Pirates 9-6. The Royals are 15-8. The Pirates are 12-12. Getting the win, Kyle Zimmer. Lost Mitch Keller. And the save, Josh Stallman. Eric Gonzalez and Jacob Stallings were the lone players to homer in this game, both obviously from Pittsburgh. Mike Minor, 4 1/3, 6 innings. Or 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, here 5.26. 2 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 4 runs, 5 walks, 2 strikeouts was Mitch Keller's line, ERA 8.2. Red Sox over the Mets 1-0. The Red Sox are 16-9, Mets 9-10. Nick Pivetta the win, he's 3-0. Jacob deGrom the loss 2-2, and getting the save, Matt Barnes is 6. Nick Pivetta 5 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 2.81. Jacob deGrom 6 innings, 3 hits, and a run, a walk, 9 strikeouts, ERA 8.51. It's just a disgrace that the Mets don't give Jacob deGrom run support. Yankees over the Orioles 7-0. The Yankees are starting to turn it on a little bit. They're 11-13. Baltimore 10-14. Domingo Germán the win 2-2. Drew Kramer the loss. He's 0-2. Mike Ford, Giovanni Urshela, and Clint Frazier all homered in this game for New York. Germán 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, ERA 4.05. He's starting to turn a corner a little bit. And Drew Kramer 4 1/3 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 8.4. Nationals over the Blue Jays 8-2. Washington 9-12. Toronto 11-12. Eric Feed the win. He's 2-2. Steven Matz lost 4-1. Josh Harrison, Josh Bell, and for Toronto, Yuli Gurriel Jr. and Bo Bichette were your home run hitters in this game. Washington 9-12, Toronto 11-12. Eric Feed 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 4.43. Steven Matz 3 2/3, 8 hits, 6 runs, a walk, 2 strikeouts, ERA 4. So Steven Matz finally turns back into the guy that we thought he was. Rays over the Athletics 2-0. The Rays 13-12, Oakland 15-10. Tyler Glasnow the win is 3-1. Cole Irvin the loss 2-3, and Diego Castillo gets the 6th save of the year. Mike Zunino homered in this game for Tampa Bay. Glasnow 7 innings, 5 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, ERA 1.67. Cole Irvin 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 8 strikeouts, ERA 3.67. Braves over the Cubs 10-0. The Braves 12-12. Chicago 10-14. Huascar Yanoa to win 2-1. Kyle Hendricks to loss 1-3. Well, listen to all these home runs. Marcell Ozuna, Austin Riley, Huascar Yanoa, amazingly enough, Freddie Freeman, and Ozzie Albies. Yanoa 5 1/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, ERA 2.96. Kyle Hendricks, 3 2/3 innings, 11 hits, 7 earned runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts, ERA 7.54. Phillies over the Cardinals, 5-3. I was wrong for best bet. Phillies 12-12, so St. Louis. Brendan Kinsler to win, he's 1-0. Genesis Cabrera to loss, he's 0-1, and getting his 5th save of the year, Hector Neris. Tyler O'Neill, Paul Goldschmidt, Brad Miller were your home run hitters in this game. Vince Velasquez, 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 6.57. Phillies bullpen really shut the Cardinals down. And Jose Oviedo, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, ERA 2.79. Angels over the Rangers 4-3. LA 12-11, Texas 10-15. Chris Rodriguez gets the win, he's 2-0. Dane Dunning lost 1-1. Raciel Iglesias gets his 4th save of the season. No homers in this game, amazingly enough. Alex Cobb, 2 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 7.16. Dane Dunning, 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 6 strikeouts, ERA 3.97. Astros over the Mariners 7-5. The Astros are 13-11, Seattle 13-12. Josh Smith, the win, he's 1-1. Rafael Montero lost 2-1, and getting to save Ryan Stanek, his first. Luis Torrens, the ex-Yankees farmhand. Kyle Lewis were your home run hitters today. Zach Greinke, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 3.44. Justin Dunn, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 3.98. And Mariners' first 5 was the right pick last night, it turns out. Padres over the Diamondbacks 12-3. Wow. San Diego 14-12, Arizona 12-12. Getting the win, Aaron Northcott, he's 1-0, and getting the loss, Riley Smith, he's 1-1. The home runs in this game, first baseman Wyatt Matheson, Jake Cronenworth, and Jorge Mateo, another Yankee farmhand, all homering in this game. Ryan Weathers only went an inning and walked 1 batter, ERA .55. I wonder if he was injured or something, or they just used him as an opener. And Smith, 4 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, no walks, no strikeouts, ERA 4.76. Giants over the Rockies 7-3. The Giants 16-9, Colorado 9-15. Alex Wood, the win, he's 3-0. Herman Marquez, the loss, he's 1-2. No home runs in this game, amazingly enough. Alex Wood, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, ERA 1.5. Herman Marquez, 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 4.13. Tigers, White Sox postponed, makeup date today. All right, 1 o'clock today, you have the Yankees and the Orioles. I didn't know the Yankees had a matinee today, but it makes sense. Jordan Montgomery and Jorge Lopez. The Yankees are favored in this game. -180. The Orioles are +152. Over on their 9, -110 each way. Yankees and Orioles -1.5 and +1.5 respectively. Yanks are minus, Orioles are plus, -110 each way. The Yankees look like a team that's turned a corner, and I don't see how they are in a 1-run game here. So I'm going to go with the Yankees run line, -1.5 and -110. The under's enticing too, but I think their offense is starting to turn a corner a little bit with these last couple games. Maybe they needed Camden Yards to get themselves going because that's their home away from home. So I'm going to go Yankees run line, -1.5 and -110. A's Rays, Chris Bassett and Shane McClanahan. McClanahan making his big league debut, or season debut, and obviously Chris Bassett. Oakland's -116. The Rays are -102. Over on their 8. Over's -104. Under's -118. The A's -1.5 is +150. The Rays +1.5 is -182. I'm going to go Oakland first 5 at -110 due to the uncertainty of McClanahan. So I'm going to go A's first 5 -110. Phillies Cardinals, Aaron Nola and Kwang Hung Kim. The Phillies are -118. The Cardinals are +110. Over under 7.5. Overs -102. Unders -120. Phillies -1.5 is +146. Cardinals plus 1.5 is minus 178. It's ridiculous that Aaron Nola is this short of a favorite. I'm laying the minus 118 with Philadelphia. 2 o'clock, you got the Mariners against the Astros. Yusei Kikuchi and Luis Garcia. The Astros minus 162. The Mariners plus 136. Over under 9. Overs minus 114. Unders minus 106. Mariners plus 1.5 is minus 152. Astros minus 1.5 is plus 126. I'm going to go with the over 9 at minus 114. Kikuchi just has been a bust in the big league so far, and then Garcia's unproven. So I'm going to go over 9 at minus 114. 5 o'clock, you have the Tigers or the White Sox game number 1. Casey Mize and Carlos Rodon. No lines posted for this yet, but I'm going to go with the Tigers and Casey Mize as a big underdog. I think Rodon might have a letdown after the no-hitter, so I'm going to go with Casey Mize and the Tigers. 7:20 on MLB Network, you have the Cubs and the Braves. Adbert Alzolay and Bryce Wilson. The Braves are minus 142. The Cubs are plus 120. Over under 9.5. Overs even money. Unders minus 122. The Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 144. The Braves minus 1.5 is plus 120. I'm going to go with something different. Braves first 5 minus 105 as the play. I can see a world where this is low scoring and there's not a lot of runs scored. But Braves first 5 minus 105 I think is a steal. 7:30 the Dodgers and the Brewers. So an NLCS rematch of 2018. Trevor Bauer and Eric Lauer. Eric Lauer making his season debut. The Dodgers are minus 200. The Brewers are plus 168. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 108. Unders minus 112. Dodgers minus 1.5 is minus 106. The Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 113. I'm going to go with over 7.5 and minus 108. It's because of the unknown of Eric Lauer. And I think that Bauer might give up a couple runs here. So I'm going to go over 7.5 and minus 108. 8 o'clock, you have the Red Sox at the Rangers. Martin Perez and Kyle Gibson. The Red Sox are minus 120. The Rangers are plus 102. Over under 8.5. Overs minus 120. Unders minus 102. Red Sox minus 1.5 is plus 136. The Rangers plus 1.5 is minus 162. I'm going to go with the Rangers as a home dog at plus 102. I always like to go with one underdog, the win outright per show for baseball. So I'm going to say that tonight, Texas will pick off Boston. A little bit of a trap game for the Red Sox. And the Tigers and the White Sox game number 2, Matt Boyd and Dylan Cease. One that I might consider here is Tigers first 5. I don't know what that number is yet. But that's where I consider if it's like plus 150 or something like that, Tigers first 5, I would strongly consider that. And at 9:30, you have the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. Antonio Senzatella and Luke Weaver. The Diamondbacks are minus 164. The Rockies are plus 138. Over under 9. Overs minus 102. Unders minus 120. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 154. The Diamondbacks minus 1.5 is plus 128. I'm going to go over 9 at minus 102. I think that this will be a high-scoring affair. So give me over 9 minus 102. All right. Now I'm going to go over the super early leaderboard for the Valspar Championship. Your early leader at a score of 3 under, Hunter Mayen. Tied for second with 2 under, Matthew Neesmith, Emiliano Grillo, Patrick Rogers, Keegan Bradley, and Pat Perez. A big tie for 7th at 1 under. Chris Kirk, Kelly Craft, Bubba Watson, Adam Putnam, what else we got here? Wesley Bryan, Martin Laird, Patrick Reed, Martin Trainer, Kevin Kisner, Hudson Swafford, Robbie Shelton, Brock Stewart, and the last one in this tie is, let's see here, Sean O'Hare. Now I'm just going to go through notables the rest of the way. At even right now in 22nd, Abraham Ancer, KJ Choi, Phil Mickelson, Lucas Griffin. Tied for 42nd with 1 over. Bo Van Pelt, James Hahn, Tyler Duncan, Paul Casey, Kevin Na, Mackenzie Hughes. Tied for 56th with 2 over J.B. Holmes, Gary Woodland. And then the rest of the tee times for notables. 8:56 Adam Hadwin. 12:05 Cam Triangle. 12:16 Taylor Gooch. Lucas Glover. 12:27 Louis Olson, Adam Schenk. 12:38 Adam Landry. 12:49 Justin Rose, JT Potson. Russell Knox. 1 o'clock Sanjay M, Victor Hovland, Ian Poulter. 1:11 Ryan Palmer, Justin Thomas, Joaquin Neiman, Zach Johnson, Dustin Johnson. 1:22 Richie Werenski, Adam Long. 1:33 Dylan McCarthy, Mark Hubbard, Evan Van Rooyen, Scotty Scheffler. 1:44 Doc Redman. 1:55 Henrik Norlander, Danny Lee. 2:06 you have Chase Koepka. And at 2:17 you got Jordan Hahn. So there you have it for times and stuff. And in terms of a pick, I am going to go with Victor Hovland at 20-1. I think that's a good price for a solid golfer. So I'm going to go 20-1 for Victor Hovland to win the 2021 Valspar Championship. Alrighty. Now I'm going to do my final 2021 NFL mock draft. This is somewhat bittersweet because it comes so quick every year, and I love doing mock drafts to see how right I am with some of these and whatnot. So without further ado, here we go. Number 1, Jacksonville Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson. This has been inevitable for a long time now, and the Jaguars will finally get who they feel will be their franchise quarterback for the next decade and a half or so. Number 2, the New York Jets, Zach Wilson, quarterback, BYU. This pick has felt like a lock for at least 2-3 months now, especially after the trading of Sam Darnold, as the Jets start afresh with Wilson. Number 3, the San Francisco 49ers, from the Houston Texans via the Miami Dolphins. Justin Fields, quarterback, Ohio State. This is where the first curveball comes into play. After many people thinking Mac Jones or Trey Lance, the 49ers pull off the right call and take the talented Justin Fields. Number 4, the Atlanta Falcons. Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida. There's a lot of rumors that the Falcons might trade out of this pick and get more assets. Or they can stand put and take Pitts, who will certainly help their offense right away, keeping Matt Ryan around potentially a little longer. 5, the Cincinnati Bengals. Jamar Chase, wide receiver, LSU. A lot of people think this feels like a guarantee. Joe Burrow, I think, is intrigued of the idea of playing with his former teammate from college. Number 6, the Miami Dolphins. From the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Waddle, wide receiver, Alabama. The hot rumors that Miami loves Jalen Waddle, and that will be the guy they pick at this spot. I think it's wild that they apparently favor him over Chase. Number 7, the Detroit Lions. Penei Sewell, offensive tackle, Oregon. If Sewell falls to 7, Detroit should seriously consider taking him or trade back because somebody will trade up to get him, whether it's the Giants or the Chargers, maybe the Eagles or somebody like that, Dallas. But somebody may trade up to get him. So if I'm the trade, I'm listening for all options. But the case for them standing put and taking Seal is that they're going to be rebuilding for a while. They need to start building it up. And I think Seal is a good building block. 8, the Carolina Panthers. Patrick Surtain II, cornerback, Alabama. It's going to be very interesting to see what the Panthers do with this selection here. And it also wouldn't surprise me if they trade down. And I think that Surtain would be a nice fit with the Panthers as he would fill a position of need. 9, the Denver Broncos. J.C. Horn, quarterback, South Carolina. With the acquisition of Teddy Bridgewater, people will assume that the quarterback is out of the question. Despite meaning sliding Horn here, I do think a quarterback is still in play. Horn really has great potential, and he did a good job against SEC competition. Number 10, the Dallas Cowboys. Rashawn Slater, offensive tackle, Northwestern. Talk about curveballs. This will be a huge curveball. The Cowboys, everyone thinks corner. But the case for them taking Slater is that they want to take him before the Giants and the Eagles. And they want reinforcements on the offensive line because guys like Tyron Smith are aging. Number 11, the New York Football Giants. Devontae Smith, wide receiver, Alabama. This feels like the pick for the Giants at this point, and I think it would be the right call with Slater off the board. The Giants need to continue their goal of giving the resources for Daniel Jones to succeed, and Devontae Smith would certainly help the cause. Number 12, Philadelphia Eagles from the San Francisco 49ers via the Miami Dolphins. Kwity Paye, defensive end, Michigan. With the receivers off the board at this point, the Eagles turned their attention to the pass rusher at Paye. This pick would make sense because the Eagles like to be deep at pass rush, and Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham are not getting any younger. 13, the Los Angeles Chargers. Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech. The Chargers, to me, are a team that is closer to winning than people think. Justin Herbert, I think, needs some protection. I think that Darrisaw would be a fine selection here. 14, the Minnesota Vikings. Elijah Vera Tucker, guard, USC. For the longest time, I've been mocking defensive linemen to this spot. Momentum is changing as the draft approaches, and here I have them taking the talented offensive lineman in Vera Tucker. His versatility is what making his draft stock rise this high. 15, the New England Patriots. Mac Jones, quarterback, Alabama. This pick would make a ton of sense with Cam Newton on a one-year deal and the connections that Bill Belichick and Nick Saban have. What concerns me is whether Jones was a product of the great talent around him, or is this of what he saw with his senior season, who he is. 16, the Arizona Cardinals. Greg Newsome, cornerback, Northwestern. Newsome is somebody that stock is rising with the draft coming up today. With the loss of Patrick Peterson, this pick would make a lot of sense as Newsome would come in and replace him with his great overall skill set. 17, the Las Vegas Raiders. Jamin Davis, linebacker, Kentucky. Every year it seems like the Raiders overdraft players in the first round, and there's a case to be made that it could be Davis. He is someone who is very talented, and stock is rising because of it, as well as his athleticism and speed, which can cause havoc. 18, the Miami Dolphins. Micah Parsons, linebacker, Penn State. This would be a fantastic pick by the Dolphins, who need a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball, sans adding a lot of pieces in free agency a year ago. Parsons would become the quarterback of that defense with his ability to rush the passer as well. 19, the Washington football team. Elijah Moore, wide receiver, Ole Miss. Washington is a team that can go in a number of directions. Moore is someone that is getting some last-minute hype as a first-round pick. Washington needs someone other than Terry McLaurin that can make big plays down the field. 20, the Chicago Bears. Trey Lance, quarterback, North Dakota State. I don't project trades in mock drafts, and with this mock, I have Lance dropping this far to the point the Bears could not simply pass up. Andy Dalton is not the long-term answer, and Lance would be interesting as he could sit behind Dalton for a season and learn under him, then take over eventually. 20, the Indianapolis Colts. Tevin Jenkins, offensive tackle, Oklahoma State. This would be a logical pick for the Colts, who need a tackle with Anthony Costanzo retiring. Jenkins is someone whose stock is rising with the draft coming up tonight due to his clean footwork and knows what to do in space. 22, the Tennessee Titans. Rashad Bateman, wide receiver, Minnesota. The Titans, over the past few mocks I've done, have been given a pass rusher. A wide receiver here makes a ton of sense with the loss of Corey Davis that they must replace. Bateman is somebody that can play on the outside or in the slot, so he and A.J. Brown can work together well. 23, the New York Jets from the Seattle Seahawks. Caleb Farley, cornerback, Virginia Tech. This would be a steal for the Jets, as Farley is somebody that was being mocked as a top 10 pick not long ago. Farley's injury issues and the fact he opted out last season is what causing his fall down boards. 24, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris, running back, Alabama. Another hot rumor as the draft is in 9 days is that the Steelers are eyeing a running back with their first-round pick, as they're trying for one last hurrah with Ben Roethlisberger. Harris is somebody that is a 3-down back and would be an upgrade over the departed James Conner. 25, the Jacksonville Jaguars from the Los Angeles Rams. Jalen Phillips, defensive end, Miami. The Jaguars can go in a number of directions here, but here I have them taking the talented edge rusher in Phillips. This pick will ultimately look like a hit or miss based on whether he remains on the field or not, and his health is what have some teams weary. 26, the Cleveland Browns. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker, Notre Dame. This would be a nice fit for the Browns as they go at the position of need. Owusu-Koramoah is somebody that can play 3 downs and provides versatility and is super athletic. 27, the Baltimore Ravens. Jason Oweh, defensive end, outside linebacker, Penn State. The Ravens have some options here with this selection. Oweh makes a lot of sense here as they need to replace Yannick Ngakoue and Matt Judon on their pass rush. Oweh was overshadowed on James Franklin's defense due to the presence of Micah Parsons, as he was a great player as well. 28, the New Orleans Saints. Zaven Collins, defensive end, outside linebacker, Tulsa. Collins is somebody that's getting a lot of love at the back end of the first round as the draft approaches. Collins would provide the Saints solid versatility and rushes the passer well. 29, the Green Bay Packers. Landon Dickerson, center, Alabama. This would be somewhat of a curveball, as many expect teammate Alex Leatherwood to go in the late first, early second. Dickerson is getting some first-round buzz despite health concerns, as he's somebody that can start right away in this scenario. He can start at center, and Elgton Jenkins could play guard. 30, Buffalo Bills. Rondell Moore, wide receiver, Purdue. Moore is somebody I felt was overshadowed in this draft class due to the presence of the big 3 receivers taken earlier in the draft. Moore is somebody that is physical and would really be a nice long-term piece for Josh Allen. 31, the Baltimore Ravens from the Kansas City Chiefs. Samuel Cosmi, offensive tackle, Texas. With the pick they received from the Chiefs in the Orlando Brown trade, they replaced Brown with Cosme. I look at Cosme as a second-round pick, but I understand this selection due to this need, and plus he has potential to be a long-time starter in the league. And 32, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Trayvon Moehrig, safety, TCU. The Buccaneers really don't have any needs in particular, so they could very well go with whom they feel is the best player available. Moehrig is somebody I felt was overshadowed due to playing in the Big 12, but he really has shown explosiveness from the position, and he could potentially be an upgrade over starter Jordan Whitehead. All right, now I'm going to go over the latest news and notes for the day. The New Orleans Saints are looking to trade up, as the team is not afraid to be bold and has been doing the most groundwork on a potential trade up. Now, who's the player? Is it a quarterback? Is it a corner? Like, are they trading up for, like, Newsome or somebody like that? Farley? The 49ers don't plan to trade Jimmy, as they only have a remote chance of being traded despite multiple teams inquiring. There's heavy interest in the number 9 pick, as the Broncos receive significant interest in the number 9 overall pick. The Broncos are also eyeing quarterback despite acquiring Teddy Bridgewater for a 6th-round pick yesterday. So obviously Denver gets a veteran in there. Bridgewater, I'd say, is an upgrade over Locke from a floor standpoint, but I don't know about that from a ceiling standpoint. But Locke, to me, really hasn't really put it all together, and I don't think Denver's sold on him. And now, despite that, it doesn't take them out of the first-round quarterback market necessarily. I talked about the Phoenix Suns clinching their first playoff berth since 2010. So one of the longer playoff droughts in the league is over. Bryce Harper said he was all good, and his scans came back good after being hit in the face with a fastball against the Cardinals. That's good news that Bryce Harper is okay. George Springer came off the injured list yesterday against the Nationals, so the Blue Jays get their prized free agent signing from the past winter. Saquon Barkley's 5th-year option was picked up, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, as was Carolina's DJ Moore. And speaking of Saquon, the Giants' star running back is on track for Week 1 after tearing his ACL, so that's good news for the Giants. They need him back. His injury is part of the reasons why that they did not win the division. I feel like if he wasn't hurt last year, they would have won the division. And the Giants are also eyeing a running back for day 2. And as is Atlanta. Atlanta makes more sense than the Giants. But the case for the Giants eyeing a running back in day number 2 is Saquon insurance, or are they not looking to potentially trade Saquon? Do they not feel good about him, and did they not want to pay him that much? So if they trade him, they, I think, could potentially get a first-round pick back for Saquon Barkley. But it's going to be interesting to see how that goes down. And then the Falcons, it makes sense. They need a running back. Todd Gurley, I don't think, is the long-term guy for there. And the Giants and the Chargers could move up in the draft to take lineman Penei Sewell if he's available in the latter stages of the top 10. Obviously, if the Chargers get him, wow. Like, that is like a bona fide playoff team right there. Giants, I think that takes them a step closer to potentially being the NFC East favorites. I think the favorites of the NFC East at the moment, because he's back from injury, Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. To me, they are a couple defensive upgrades in the draft away from being the NFC East favorites. That's who I trust the most. But to me, it depends on who they draft. And then the Giants and Washington, same. I think that Washington badly needs offensive help around Ryan Fitzpatrick. They need line help. So I think Washington has more holes than people think. The 12-team college football playoff is building support as several college football playoff decision makers are showing willingness to consider major expansion. That's coming from The Athletic. That'd be wild if the playoff expanded. The Patriots and the Panthers were both 3-1 to draft Justin Fields yesterday, as I went over on my show for the draft yesterday night. And Trey Lance is a favorite to be picked before Justin Fields tomorrow as well, which is nuts. We talked about the Saints potentially trading up for Caleb Farley. The Packers have done a lot of research on Minnesota's Rashad Bateman ahead of the draft tonight. I will not be shocked, to say the least, if they take a wide receiver. The Lions targeted Jamar Chase for number 4 overall, but the Falcons' price was too high. I don't blame the Falcons for making the price that high. And Detroit trading up would mean that they're kind of going for it with Jared Goff and Jamar Chase, but I don't think they should trade up. They should trade down. And last night, Quinton Bayfield, the number 2 overall pick in last year's NHL draft, made his debut against the Ducks. And the last note is that the Philadelphia 76ers are still eyeing Kyle Lowry in a possible sign and trade this offseason. I think Lowry would be a nice fit there, a nice shooting point guard. Obviously, Lowry is in the latter stage of his career at this point, so I'd be weary of anybody signing Kyle Lowry to a long-term deal. Alrighty. Last but not least, my best bet of the day, brought to you by FanDuel. There's a lot of options to be had. In both the NBA and Major League Baseball. The NHL, to me, nothing really stood out. And the play is going to be one that I alluded to earlier. Riding the MVP Nikola Jokic narrative. And I'm going to lay the 4 with the Denver Nuggets. A half unit, -4. And now it's down to 2.5. That's wild. I'm definitely laying it with Denver now. So I'm laying 2.5, -110. The Denver Nuggets at home against the Toronto Raptors. That's nuts. That should not be that low. All right. So that's it for the show today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping the first round of the NFL draft. Although I might do that on a separate podcast alone, which I might record early tomorrow morning, as well as my normal show. So yeah, I'm going to do that separately. I'm going to do the first round of the draft recap early tomorrow morning. And then I'll also do the normal Friday podcast separately, as I'll go over the baseball, the basketball, and the hockey, and look ahead to tomorrow on the weekends. We'll continue the golf leaderboard for the current tournament, which is the Valspar. And then we will preview and predict the NASCAR races for the weekend as well. And all the other news and notes around the world of sports and pop culture, as well as my best bet. I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.